What's up guys, Intelitech Studios here, and I just repaired the Dyson DC25. So, again, I don't know what model this is. I assume this is the multi-floor red edition. Whenever I registered it on my Dyson website, it pulled up as the online retailers exclusive, so perhaps this is a QVC or HSN model. Maybe Target.com, but I don't think that would register as online if it's still a storefront website. Speaking of which, the Dyson website, my ability to log into it has stopped working for a while. So my DC17 and the brand new Dyson Ball Total Clean that I just bought, I can't register. I had to register them over the phone, and it was a big process. So thankfully I already registered this one, but I didn't need to buy any parts for it anyways. Maybe the wand? I don't know if this is normal. Is this supposed to rotate that much? That seems kind of odd. But other than that, the machine's good. I replaced the HEPA filter, replaced the end cap, replaced the brush roll. By the time you're seeing this, that video probably has already been uploaded. If not, it'll probably follow this one shortly after. So I recorded a bunch of videos, and I'll be putting them out throughout the coming weeks. So yeah, I already did vacuum a little bit with this. I vacuumed part of this living room to suck up some of those scent beads so the vacuum smells good. And I vacuumed the chair and my stairs as well. And despite the fact that these machines are known for not performing very well deep cleaning wise, this has actually done a pretty interesting job. And I'm rather impressed with it. Impressed in the sense that I didn't expect it to do that well. I still think my DC41 performs better than this, especially with the kinetic head on it. And, but you know, I did just vacuum with the brand new Hoover Tempo, and this thing still pulled up some stuff, you know, and this was only like maybe 3 or 4 hours after I vacuumed with a Tempo, so not much dirt would have been on the floor. So, and some of that dirt was from the floor, not from the couch, or not from the chair and the stairs, although I'm sure some of it's from that as well. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and give this a run through the living room and see what it does. A bit of a long motor wind down, but other than that, is there really a lot that I can complain about, given the fact that this is a free Dyson that I picked up off the side of the road, and all I did to it was clean it up, change the brush roll, the end cap, and the HEPA filter? No, there's nothing I can complain about. Sure, this thing's kind of tattered. There's some battle scars on the machine, a lot of scratches on the front, a lot of gouges on the sides, but considering it was a vacuum that was going to go to landfill, and now it's, saved. Quite the epitome of vacuum saved, isn't it? So, if we look at the filter, which I did wash a while ago, still looks damn near perfect. Pop that in there, the correct orientation, because I'm always a stickler about that. So, obviously no need to check the HEPA, that's brand new. But as far as the results, is there really much to complain about? I don't know if I want to dump this. But you can see there's a good amount of hair, good amount of fine dust, and obviously a lot of the crunchy bits you hear rattling around in there are the scent beads that I vacuumed up. So it smells nice. Granted, it smelled fine beforehand. In fact, when I got it, it didn't even have an odor, despite how dirty it was. And it was pretty obvious they owned pets because all this chewed up crap right here. But it didn't have a smell. At least I don't remember it having a smell. I would have remembered it if it was a very strong smell, because that stuff just kind of hits you. This bin's always a pain to get on. And you always got to line this up here just right. See how loose these tool holders get. I don't like that about this machine, about these older Dysons, because these clips wear out, and at that point these tools are just obnoxious and don't want to stay on. That's what I like about the DC41 and the other ones. This is just a replaceable clip, so if this wears out and it bothers you, you can just get a new clip for 10 bucks, slap it on there, and be done. This one you can't, because this is part of the housing. I don't know any way to make this not rattle as much, especially if you put the brush like this, like they want you to. You're vacuuming, thing's smacking itself. It's irritating. Stair tool's not as bad. Speaking of stairs, I did take this tool and go all the way up my stairs. It got every step except the last one, so it comfortably went up 10 steps. And it got to the 11th. You can stretch it and get to the 11th, but I wouldn't really recommend going up to 11 because at that point you're stretching out the hose pretty far. And I would imagine if you do that, every week for a span of like 5-10 years, that could be a recipe for a ripped hose. But it goes up 10 steps comfortably. It seems like every vacuum that has a stretch hose that's somewhat worth its salt will go up 10 steps. Even the Elite Rewind went up 10 steps, no problem. So it's just the last two at the top of the steps that are really hard to get, because my staircase is 12 steps. But that's not a big deal, because if I were to take this machine upstairs and use it upstairs, then I could just sit at the top of the stairs, hold it with my hand, and grab the final 2 steps. It's not a big deal. I know Dyson doesn't want you to do that, but if they don't want you to do that, then make the damn hose longer. So yeah, it's a Dyson DC25 vacuuming the living room. Results are pretty good. There's really not much for me to complain about. Does it perform as good as the DC41, and especially as good as the Kinetic and the newer Dyson balls? Oh, Jesus, a guy on a motorcycle. The answer is no, not even close. But now that it has a new brush on it, does it do okay? Yeah. And here's the thing. The bristles on this brush roll are very stiff. This replacement brush roll is really good quality bristles. So that's why the bristles that are able to hit the carpet do a good job at removing stuff. The problem is that these bristles are way too sparse. You can see they're just so tiny, and there's so many spaces in between each of the bristles. This is leaving lines in the carpet that are completely unagitated and uncleaned. So this carpet is getting very unevenly cleaned, especially combined with the ingest bars that they've removed on the newest Dysons. Like, it's a night and day difference. If I take the Kinetic or the Total Cleaner, the DC41 with one of those heads on it, it'll just spank this thing. And I know, because those get out a really good amount of stuff. And that's, Dysons are usually not known for deep cleaning, but the newer Dysons are seriously good. And it would be dishonest of anyone to say otherwise, because the amount of improvement the newer Dysons make in performance compared to the old Dysons, even compared to other vacuums, is really impressive. And you got to give credit where credit is due, even if you don't like Dyson. You know, the newer Dysons, not this model, but they do perform as well as any other vacuum, if not better. And I will say that, you know, yes, it's the truth that the vacuum that goes last wins, but I just vacuumed with the Tempo, a brand new machine, just took it out of the box, and this thing still pulled up some stuff that it missed. Not a lot. It's a little enough amount that I would say that this thing still cleans better than this, because it wasn't able to get up a lot of stuff. This definitely does clean better than this. Don't make any mistake about that. But it's the kind of thing where it is getting up some stuff, so it is somewhat of a competent cleaner when it has a good brush roll in it. Is it the machine I would pick for deep cleaning? Absolutely not. This 25 is not a machine I would pick for that endeavor. I would pick any modern Dyson over it, as well as plenty of other machines like this Tempo if I was specifically concerned with deep cleaning. Or obviously, if I'm going to go bagless, my choice is always the Clear Track or the Workhorse. Or if I somehow had the parts availability to do so, then I'd run a Phantom, because those clean just as well as the Workhorse, but you just can't get parts for them anymore. So, yeah, that's the DC25 up and running, and for $0.00, me acquiring this machine, and then what, $30 to buy all of these parts. The HEPA filter was like $12, the brush roll was like $12, and the end cap was like $7. Not bad for, at this point, not a refurbished Dyson, but a fully functional Dyson. And yeah, so that's about that. Got another machine in the collection, and based on the fact that it's now perfectly working, there's no reason for me to get rid of this. So yeah, I will review this one of these days, but it's an old model. It's on the back burner. All the newer Dysons I have to review will come before this. The Bissell that I still have to review, which I'll probably do right after this video. Got to review that. Got to review this Tempo. Got to review that machine again, probably, because I don't know. Maybe I don't need to re-review that. But yeah. So this is the Dyson DC25 living room vacuuming, and yeah. So that's that. The last gen Dyson ball. And a lot of people mentioned that they wish this machine was on the market for a lot longer, and I mean, I guess I could kind of agree with that, but I understand going to this from the 41, you can really feel the improvements that the 41 made to the platform. And yeah, I'm sure that's going to irritate a lot of people, but I'm just talking about using. I'm not talking about fixing the machine. I haven't actually done any major repairs on either of these two machines, so I'm not commenting on something that I have no experience in, because I fixed a lot of 24s back in the day, but I never fixed a 25. This is the first 25 that's ever been on my bench, so to speak. And I don't know why that was. I don't know if it was just as simple as, you know, we're not going to trust the 14-year-old kid to take apart our $500 vacuum cleaner, but we'll trust him to take apart our $400 vacuum cleaner. Doesn't make much sense to me, because I fixed plenty of 24s. Or maybe it was the kind of thing where people were just like, oh, it's the small one, so we'll give it to the kid to work on, because it's, I don't know. But for whatever reason, no one's ever brought me a 25. No one's asked me to fix a 25. Maybe that's a testament to how durable these things are, or maybe in my neck of the woods, they just weren't common. Because I lived in a relatively small suburb of Kansas City growing up, so most people have the 24 if they had a Dyson because they lived in duplexes, compact spaces. So that's probably a more accurate explanation as to why that is. Still plenty of 07s and 14s back then, though. And, but yeah, so that's that. Machine's up and running. So I fixed the 3 main issues that it had, which it needed a HEPA filter because it was screeching, although the new one isn't perfect. You might be able to hear a bit of a noise, but it's still better than it was. Brush roll was buzzing and vibrating. Replaced the end cap on the brush roll, that took care of that. And this valve wasn't closing whenever I lifted up the wand. A bit of cleaning took care of that. Now I do this, and the valve it closes just like it should. Sometimes the valve won't close all the way. It'll get like 95% there, but that's not a problem because it gets good. It closes enough to where once the suction goes through this, the suction pulls it shut. So, that does the trick. I'll demonstrate that now real quick. So 3 random times yanking out the wand and it switches over just like it should. So this thing is entirely fully functional. No qualms about it. Stands up fine. Nothing's broken or anything like that. Everything's in good shape. Other than it's pretty badly scratched up, but what isn't these days? So yeah. DC25 up and running as per usual in all my videos. Towards the end of the video, I start repeating myself to make sure I don't forget about anything, and I end up saying the same thing 17 times. So, DC25 up and running. There it goes again. Intelitech Studios signing out. There goes that again. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.